Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Soulfire Sunday podcast on the Sex and Suicide Podcast Network, I guess. I'm here with my buddies. This is Scott Milne. He's an IFBB pro. This is Paulie O'Byrne. He is the founder of 1 in 5. And typically, we go through a 15-week journey exploring cognitive behavioral therapy. Tonight, we're just going to free flow it kind of thing and talk about. This is the first time we've all been together in a few weeks. We got our nice shirts on, right? First time ever.
Look fresh.
This is supposed to happen like literally by podcast number 1 or 2, but hey, better late than never. Right? It happened.
Yeah, it happened.
I think tonight there's one thing that I want to talk about in specific, but why don't you guys tell me about how your week has been? And since the last time I saw you, Scotty, what have you been up to?
Yeah, how's your week?
Been gone for a couple weekends, just car trouble and some massive headache last weekend.
Yeah.
Just busy working and busy getting me home ready to sell. Which is a lot of work.
It is, absolutely.
Like,
how are you?
For my parents.
Yeah. How? Okay. How are you finding the program so far? Any anxiety, any depression come up over the last? It's got to be stressful getting your house ready. Yeah. Did any of the tools work for you?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Which ones were you kind of focusing on? Like breathing or?
It's more like I find now more it's like trying to change my thinking to the affirmations and the positive, like the gratitude list morning and night kind of thing.
Yeah, good for you. So just when you're
trying to focus more on that stuff, like what I'm thankful for, like like the little things instead of always focusing on the bad, the negative, and
right.
Because then it's just like a bad spiral out of control, right?
Right.
And that can be tough, like making those gratitude lists. Because sometimes when you're feeling down, you're like, I'm not grateful for anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like some of those days you're like, fuck it, I'm really not grateful for anything. But they can make it, in a big, situation like moving. Like that's not just a, you know what I mean? You're going out for this.
Yeah.
You're getting a whole house prepared to like sell it, and that's got to be stressful for everyone involved. So for you to make gratitude lists, like that's going above and beyond.
That's considered a stressful event, right?
And it's been emotional too, actually.
Oh, I can imagine there's memories, right?
Well, yeah, good and bad. There's a lot of negative, but it's just, that you bought your house, you're proud, like it was bought for a reason, and then like
right.
And it's not now that we got it all fixed up. It's like, man,
you don't want to leave.
But you did everything you wanted to.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
it's just like it's a home. Like, I don't know.
I wonder how
you own it. Like I don't know. It's hard. I have trouble letting go. Right?
That's
one of the things, so.
Yeah. That's okay, man. That's being in the real estate industry. You see that all the time.
Yeah.
It's funny because people
on, because I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you get it ready to sell, you get all those tips like, oh, you should paint, you should get new carpet. Yeah. You do all these things ready to get the property on the market, and meanwhile you're looking at this place like, man, this is a nice house. I'd actually live here now, right?
Yeah.
But good for you. You'll be able to let that go and move on to the next chapter.
Sure. Just looking where to live. It's gonna be different.
Yeah, but you're feeling good?
Yeah.
Feeling pumped up?
Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, buddy?
I had a kind of a relaxing week. I spent my time with my girlfriend this week. And, just kind of relaxed a little bit. I'm getting
no talks for a bit?
Pardon me?
No talks for
a bit? I struggle a little bit in August and September, so I'm not talking so much. Just I kind of make September and August are tough months, I think, in general for me, right? So I just gotta not talk or not book anything in September and August. And I have a bunch of stuff coming up for Recovery Day in London here, and then I'm doing Recovery Day in Chatham again this year in September. So that's like a national thing about recovery from addiction and alcoholism. So it's just kind of a new event that's kind of gone across Canada, which is a really cool thing. Econoline Crush, do you remember that band, Econoline Crush?
Yeah.
They're playing like free shows at all the recovery days, like BC and Saskatchewan and stuff like that. So they're playing here. I think it's September 17th. I think that happens here. So it's a really cool event. I'm going to be speaking of that. But yeah, I don't really speak too much in August. I think it's important for me to take some self-care time to relax, because I do a ton of speaking like in the spring, and not like this year I spoke over 50 times in 2 months, and
that's a lot.
It takes a lot out of you, right? And so I just want to be me, and I think that's like important for me to just be me for a little bit and go to the beach and play some baseball. And I'm getting all geared up for a hockey season here coming up, which is
you love that.
I love it, but it's getting nerve-wracking because I'm so passionate about it. And so like I want these kids to do so well, and I want them to be so successful. So I put that pressure on myself. And we're going to Boston in a few weeks here for a tournament, and I'm so scared that we're not going to do well, but I really want to do well. So we're just kind of going through the motions of like implementing some stuff right now in our skates, and so I'm excited. I love it. I love what I do. I love being a hockey coach. It's just I put that pressure on myself, right? Because I hate losing and I like winning, and it's just kind of the competitiveness in me. So
has being back on the ice helped with your little bit of anxiety? Yeah, it has.
Yeah, for sure it has. But like I think, hockey for me is a lot more than just the sport, right? Like it was taken from me in my life, and I got it back, and I'm never letting it go ever again.
Right. It's almost like
a piece of serenity for me.
Exactly.
I don't think about the things that I've been through. I don't think about the president of minor hockey who did whatever to me when I was younger. I just think about like that I can have a little bit of power in hockey, and I'm not going to let what's happened to me in hockey affect what I am. That person is a terrible representative of hockey, and I shouldn't associate them with hockey, right? There's good people in hockey and good people in sport, and they're not all monsters like this person was. So I think being out on the ice is just like getting power back.
Yeah.
And to know that I can do that and not feel shamed or stigmatized, or that someone has ulterior motives when it comes to hockey, right? Yeah. So it's a lot more personal than it is for, I think, a lot of people in hockey. It's not just opening a bench and putting pucks in the corner. It's something that makes me feel like I have purpose and what I've worked for. So, and I believe I'm pretty confident that I'm a good hockey coach. I got a few championships now. So
good for you, man. That's amazing.
4 championships in 6 years. So hopefully we can.
That's really good, dude.
5 and 7 this year.
Good.
Nice. Yeah.
Good, man. Well, hearing that cheers me up.
Thanks.
Lately I've been having, like today especially, I kind of felt like we're sitting here, and I don't think people understand that we're kind of like, it's a big commitment, and I'm proud of you guys for making this commitment as often as we have. I mean, 15 weeks, some weeks we've had to cancel, whether that's because even we all need a break sometimes. 15 weeks straight is a lot to do. But I'm going to read you guys something, and this really put me into a little bit of a spiral, wondering if what we're doing, either we need more of it, or is it even effective? Is it even doing anything? And it's one of those things that popped up on my news feed as of August 18th. So this is a CBC article, and this happened in London, Ontario. So for those of you that are tuning in, we are located in London, Ontario. And the title is Wanton and Reckless Disregard, Woman's Family Sues London Hospital Doctors. Jennifer Watt, 20, died after living with mental illness and visiting the LHSC several times before her death. The family of Jennifer Watt, a young woman who struggled with mental illness, is suing the London Health Sciences Centre and doctors and nurses involved in her care. So here's the start of the article. In the last 11 days of Jennifer Watt's life, she tried to kill herself 3 times. The 20-year-old was rushed to the hospital 3 times and discharged each time. Now the London woman's family is suing the London Health Sciences Centre and the doctors and nurses involved in her care. Jennifer spoke out herself when she was able about trying to get better care and processes for people with mental health issues, and her mom wants to continue that purpose in the hopes that nothing like this will happen again, said Mary Grosso, the lawyer representing Jennifer Watt's mother and sister. The statements in the lawsuit have not been tested in court. Statements of defense have not been filed, but lawyers for doctors, nurses in the hospital have filed papers with the court stating their intent to defend. A dozen doctors were named in the lawsuit. The lawsuit names 12 doctors as well as unnamed doctors and nurses and other staff who handled Watt's care from March 18, 2015 until June 8, 2015. So you're right, it was a little while ago, but this just shows, I mean, the level of care Jennifer Watt got fell below the reasonable treatment, Grosso said. And we've seen more of this year, right? If the doctors, nurses, and or staff at LHSC had taken reasonable steps to keep Jennifer safe, to properly monitor her and stabilize and treat her in a timely way, Jennifer would not have reached a medical state which caused her to take her own life, states the lawsuit, which is seeking $450,000 in damages. Watt's plight was well known to Londoners. Her story appeared in the London Free Press after she would call the newspaper to detail overcrowding and lack of adequate care for the mentally ill. Watt had a mood disorder, borderline personality disorder, depression, and anxiety, the lawsuit claims. So obviously, we're not mental health professionals, but that's not something that we could comment on even.
Right.
But anxiety and depression are something that we can kind of relate to. Her condition started to deteriorate around March 18th of that year after a period of stability. So this was 2015 then that this happened. Over the next 3 months, she was in and out of hospital and tried to end her life several times. The lawsuit details Jennifer's numerous encounters with doctors who discharged her and her mother's battle to keep her admitted. The doctors, nurses, and hospital were negligent in their care and treatment of Watt, the lawsuit claims.
I believe the law says that if someone tries to take their life by suicide, in their minute they have to stay for a week.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Well,
Right?
a form 1 is 72 hours. That's your police taking away your rights for 72 hours. But
Right.
I think if there is an attempt, you have to stay in for a week. It's 7 days, isn't it? Or something like that.
Positive of that.
If you're positive, so clearly there was, there was mistreatment going on.
Also with that though, I've been in the psychiatric ward for even having a plan, telling them what I was going to do, and go through that whole process of the intake of going into a psychiatric ward and then getting up there and getting a little bit freaked out.
Yeah.
Thinking, well, I got to drink, they don't serve liquor here. I got to use, they don't serve cocaine here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell these doctors what they want to hear, and they let me go.
Right.
Really, ultimately, that's what I did, and that never kept me safe, right?
Right.
But I was sick,
Right.
ultimately. And
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to tell a person that, while I'm sick in a psychiatric ward, I'm just having a bad day.
And manipulate him.
That's all it is manipulation in a system. He should have known this person's mentally ill. He's just telling me what he wants to hear.
That doctor or whoever was treating, it sounds like quite a few. The hospital didn't provide a proper standard of care, exercise reasonable skill in her treatment, or recognize the signs and symptoms that indicated she would end her life. The document states, doctors and nurses didn't follow proper procedures, order appropriate tests, seek medical history, or order appropriate follow-up according to the lawsuit. They knew or ought to have known there existed a high degree of risk of suicide and failed to take adequate measures to ensure Jennifer's safety. The lawsuit alleges. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. The conduct of the defense constitutes a wanton and reckless disregard for safety of Watt, according to court documents. So here's the timeline. This timeline is constructed from statement of claim filed with court as not being tested in court. So March 18th, 2015, Watt goes to the ER at LHSC because she was feeling suicidal. 2 doctors say she should be admitted, but abandoned that process the same day. She was released without treatment. Wow. May 25th, Watt calls her mother in distress, who calls London police. Jennifer Watt is found near comatose behind a variety store. She had taken an overdose of medication. 2:39 a.m., Watt is admitted to the ER and seen by a doctor. 11 a.m., she's assessed, appears drowsy. Watt says she wants to be discharged. 1:55 p.m., she is discharged within 2 hours.
Wow.
Her mother sees her deteriorating. She is incoherent and begins hallucinating, is aggressive and agitated. 4:30 p.m., she is readmitted and stays in the ER overnight. May 26th, she's assessed by a psychiatrist. Watt tells the doctor she doesn't want to have mental health support anymore. She's angry with her mother. 2:56, she's discharged. May 30th, she returns to the ER after 2 suicide attempts. She denies further thoughts of suicide. Watt is discharged with no charges or additions to her treatment. Her resident said she would contact a psychiatrist about Watt's status to request an earlier appointment than the one she had scheduled for June 30th. This was not done, blah, blah, blah. So on June 8th, she takes her life. So basically, between March 18th and June 8th,
Wow.
That's quick.
And there seems to be, so this is a problem. The reason why I'm bringing this up,
Spaced out over a year, 2 years, with another aim,
obviously this is, the reason why this is being rehashed is because they're now suing.
Right.
But clearly, as we've heard over the past year and from people that have come on this podcast, there's still a massive problem with overcrowding, with people being released. I mean, how do you guys feel about reading that? I know I felt after reading that, I just kind of thought, well, since we've started doing this, we've lost someone you knew personally to suicide, 2 major singer-songwriters, right? We had Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, right? And how do you guys feel about what it is we're doing? I mean, I feel like we're doing our best here. Whether or not anyone's even paying attention, sometimes
there's just so much.
So what do we do? What do we do?
I think we have
to keep plugging forward.
I think that's exactly it. I think that to a point we have to get at government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a tough thing because the government says they only have so many dollars. Well, 7% of the healthcare budget goes to mental health.
That's it, right?
That's 7%.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, like we're at epidemic numbers now, where there's more people in Canada that have mental illness than have cancer. You know, and we poured, and I have nothing against cancer, but we poured millions, billions of dollars into cancer.
Yeah.
Why can't we pour millions and billions of dollars into mental health and maybe provide them with another place so that they're not at, you know, overcapacity? Like I've been to the LHSC struggling, talking to a nurse, and them say, if you're not at immediate risk, you have to go home and call the crisis line every 2 hours.
Right.
Which, like, thank God I have the, you know, at least support enough to call them.
Yeah.
You know, that I have people in my life that I need to say, hey, you know, I'm supposed to call this crisis center, and they'll make sure that I do.
Yeah.
But if I don't have that, then I don't know if I would call that crisis center every 2 hours, right? Or I don't know if I would want to go back to a mental health facility that was overcrowded.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm there to get some help, ultimately, right?
And I think there's a big disconnect or discrepancy. Like some people think mental health, and they think like I don't want to go mental health because they picture like crazies and
Right.
you've seen on TV
Right,
and
like
movies,
one-
right?
like one
I don't
fucking
belong there,
yes, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's just stuff like where we're stuffing our heads and it's negative, and, you
Yeah.
know, and we just don't know what to do with it.
I think we need to get rid of
Disconnect
it.
that
Like,
way.
we need to disconnect shame and stigma away from mental illness, right?
Right.
There's so many solid people and solid humans in Canada that live with mental illness
Everybody's suffering in
Yeah.
some way.
that you'd never guess because they haven't spoken out about it. But if they told you, hey, I suffer from depression, you'd say, wow, like I'm not alone. They suffer
Right.
from the same thing. And I think that we don't need to
Yeah.
mainstream it, but we don't market mental illness, right? We market one day a year on Bell Let's Talk Day, and that's wonderful.
Right.
But we live with mental illness, a lot of people every single day.
Yeah, what if someone's having a good day on Bella's
Right,
Talk Day?
exactly.
No one's going to need you.
No,
Right?
And that's exactly. I think that should motivate us as guys on Sunday night to that what we're doing. You know, it may not seem like we're having an impact, but I guarantee you we are.
Yeah.
You know, like and
Slowly but surely.
I think that should motivate us to just keep going and talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
We talked about it pretty candidly.
Yeah.
We don't hold any shame when we talk about our own mental illness or our own struggles, and maybe we can portray that out to people that they don't have to, you know, feel shame. But at the same time, what doctor's going to listen to three guys on a couch?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe they should.
Yeah.
Right, but what doctor's going to say? Oh, I'm going to go watch the Sex and Suicide podcast.
Not many.
There's not many, right? But maybe
Right.
they need three guys to walk into a mental health facility and say, "Hey, this
It's
shit's
okay.
real, and
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to be
Tell
here."
us your story.
Right.
You know, like let's mainstream this. Let's normalize it. Let's have a conversation in every, you know, living room about depression.
Right.
You know,
Well,
that it's not a bad thing.
I think that you're absolutely right, and maybe instead of just like this whole mental illness thing is running rampant right now,
Yeah.
and instead of addressing it after the fact, don't you think maybe I think what if all of us were brought up in a way that we knew how to handle anyone that was potentially suicidal?
Right. Yeah.
So early in our youth, when we were just little guys running around, what if someone actually told us how to deal with people that were in the school system, that were dealing with what anxiety was, what depression was, what suicide looked like,
Yeah.
even, or what to do if you, and know that you're not afraid to talk about it. So when do we-
Unfortunately, we've had a curriculum that's been around for 60 years in school,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about sexual health or.
But not even that.
How to put a condom on a banana.
Yeah.
You know, there's sexual health.
Right.
And we don't talk about mental health. You know what I mean? We talk about physical development a little bit in gym class.
Right.
But like all of us go through mental health.
Yeah.
We all have mental health. We all have
Started.
physical health. We all have emotional health.
But it should almost be as common as a driver's license.
Right.
I mean, as soon as you hit the age of 18,
You
You go to
curriculum.
TikTok or something
yeah,
like that.
exactly. You should have your mental health first aid at the very
Yeah.
least, so that like
Yeah.
if you see someone struggling, you know that
You can pick up on the signs of depression.
yeah,
Right.
and you know that 90% of the time that person just needs you to be there and listen.
That's it. They don't need
To not
anyone to
feel
be a
alone.
doctor or practitioner around you.
Right.
Because
Like,
they feel alone. They just want.
they just want someone, right? They just need someone, and that's not about being codependent. That's just being, I need some support. And what's
Right.
wrong with saying, I think it's harder for someone to say, oh, I got this, I'll do it on my own. I
Yeah.
think that's way harder than saying, hey, Scotty, I'm really struggling, you know, I need some help with this, can you come and talk? Or let's
Right.
go for
Yeah.
coffee or something like that. I think it's much easier to say that, maybe because I'm in the position, or we're in the positions that we are, that we would be okay with saying, hey, let's just go for a coffee and have a talk, rather than keep that stuff in, you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely tough to keep that in, and it's tough to talk about it, but I think the worth and the value of talking about it is, it's priceless.
Right.
Really, I think that when it comes down to it, we do need to teach mental health in school.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess I really need to hear this week, because this week I've just been feeling like we've spent every Sunday this summer.
Yeah.
I mean, I rush back from the cottage and want to make sure that I'm here for this. And it's not that necessarily that I want to be, it's that I feel like there's a responsibility now. Having lost my best friend to suicide, I don't want any other families to ever have to go through it. And to be completely honest with you, some days I wish I could trade places with them, just because the responsibility is one that I didn't ask for.
Yeah.
It's one that I feel I have to do because I've seen firsthand what it does to people, what it does to families, and the unanswered questions. It's just the worst thing. It's too much power for any person to have. It really is.
And ultimately, we have to, it's almost like us to choose that if it is a responsibility. Like, I think in recovery, because people have given so many tools in recovery, like especially from alcoholism, and like my counselors and stuff, they've given me that stuff and tools on how to live. I didn't have to pay for any of those tools, right?
Right.
So I almost feel like in order for me to keep those tools, I have to give those away. I have to show other people how to use these tools. And if I don't, then I feel like I'm cheating the system, or cheating recovery if I don't give this stuff away. So it really does help to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're ever struggling and down and out, go help an old lady across the street.
Exactly.
It's a huge difference.
For sure it is. And I think that's what we need to do is we're so narrow-minded into this screen right here that we don't even recognize people around us. Yeah. And then they're hurting, right? Go volunteer, go walk a dog, go read a storybook or something,
Sure.
Get yourself out of yourself.
I think you're absolutely right. That's what it is. It's about...
it's amazing how much better you feel when you do that.
Yeah, for sure it is, And I used to think, I'll never be a public speaker. Like, I can't read. I can't read very well.
Right.
And I was never very good at speaking in front of my class.
Yeah.
And I just worked on it, and then the fear comes over, and you're like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And then I always have this thought. I have that thought every time I speak. You see me speak, and I'm like, I'm getting vulnerable, I'm getting nervous.
Right. And then you point it outwards.
And then I put it outwards because I know there's someone that maybe needs to hear that.
Yeah.
Even if I'm a shitty speaker, they're going to go home and talk about it.
Yeah.
They're going to go home and talk about mental health, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, I just want people to normalize the conversation, and if that freaks me out, then it means that I'm doing something important.
Right.
Like, if it scares me, it means I'm about to do something brave.
Good.
Which, I guess I've just come to a point where I'd much rather feel that fear and do it anyways, kind of thing. Like we talked about last week. Right? Just feel that, do it anyways, and the rewards from that are unreal. Like, if you're struggling, help someone or share your story with someone, right? Like, I think that's the best thing I've ever been able to do. Is we've all had so much shame around sharing the shitty parts of our story, but when we get that out, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the cure. I think that's the cure for addiction is connection, right? Relationships.
Yeah. So, when it comes to suicide, how do you cope with someone? How would you cope with someone if someone said, "Hey, Paulie, hey Scott, I feel like it's not worth it anymore. It's helpless. I'm hopeless." How would you deal with something like that? Are you still afraid to address the topic? Like, hey man, you sound like you're suicidal. Is this, or have we talked enough to know that it's okay to talk about suicide openly and honestly? Would you just listen? Tell me what approach would you take?
There's and people watching that are on my Facebook will know that if I haven't heard from someone, and even if I don't know them or say I've never met them, but I have seen them and they've got a hold of me through 1 and 5, I'll ask them, say, hey, how's your anxiety?
Right.
Or and most of the time people don't answer me back.
Yeah.
But I know that I've done my part, right?
Right.
I've never, because I lost a good buddy 2 years ago, and I went back in my Facebook messages. Jeff McNee, he was like an awesome guy, and the last message I said to him was, I love you like a brother. Yeah. And that gave me a little bit of peace, right? Like, that gave me a little bit of peace that the last thing he definitely knew that I loved him.
Right.
And I don't ever want someone in my life to unfortunately die and me not be able to give that opportunity. So I always, even if I don't know someone that well, I'll reach out and say, hey, how's your depression doing? Or, do you want to go get a coffee?
Right.
We can talk about whatever. We don't even have to talk about depression. Let's talk about something else. Or what do you love?
Right.
Let's start talking about what you love, right?
Right.
Some people are, I don't love anything. Well, let's talk about loving nothing then.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
I'll be a positive Paulie all day long.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
You got a good name for that, Positive Paulie.
It's not trademarked yet, but...
Well, I think it's important to know...
Your book of sayings.
Yeah.
Positive Paulie's book of sayings.
I think it's important that we clarify that people that are suicidal, it's not that they want to die. It's just that they don't know how to live.
Yeah, they don't know how to cope. They don't know how to deal with all these feelings and emotions coming in. They're overwhelmed.
They don't know how to change. They don't know how to live.
They feel like there's no place to crawl out of a dark hole, right?
And this is something that's clearly still. It's going to continue to be an issue until we're all open and talk about our shit openly and honestly. We're not afraid to talk about it and address it. And we didn't say it this episode yet, but we are in suicide season as of right now. This is. And it's shitty that there is a season for it. It's shitty that we have to talk about it. But statistically,
it's
horrible.
It's here. Yeah.
I know it's terrible, and we're in it right now. And that's why this week I kind of wanted to take a shift. It was supposed to be an episode about time management, but I figured after the reading that I've done, let's address suicide once more. And just what we can do to kind of put people at ease.
I think we have to detach the shame from feeling suicidal. I think that if you're feeling suicidal, that's a normal response to maybe an abnormal circumstance that's happened in your life.
Yeah.
And that you're not a bad person for thinking that you're suicidal.
And who's to say
given the right coping skills?
Exactly. So I just have given you
tools.
The wrench to say, here's some self-love, right? Or, here's some meditation, or here's to go to work out, right? No one's given them or us those tools, or we don't want to use those tools, but at the same time,
to talk to you.
And that's exactly it. I think that we always need support, right? No matter what, I need support. I didn't get myself this sober. There's no way that I did this on my own. I give a lot of credit to my higher power, the universe, but I give the equal amount of credit to the people in my life because I was a shit tank who really didn't want to get sober. I just wanted the shit to end. I wanted the chaos to end, and in order for the chaos to end, I needed to get sober. And I didn't want to get sober. I love drinking. I'm Irish. I'm from the East Coast. I love having that culture in me. But I couldn't do it and deal with my depression or deal with my suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation. Even in my recovery, I've had suicidal ideation, right? And I think that recovery's.
How would you define that ideation? What do you mean by that? Because I've heard that before, and I don't exactly know what it is.
I think, for me, the suicidal ideation is actively having a plan.
Really?
Yeah. But I could be wrong in that, but that's how I define it. And that's it sucks to say, but I've had a plan a few times. You know what I mean? And that's a tough thing, and that's when I know that I'm in crisis mode with myself, that I have to reach out if I have a plan, and maybe not written out, but if I start thinking about, well, this is the tree that I'm going to go hang myself from, or I'm going to go get an electric cord, and this is how I'm going to hang myself from this specific tree. I've had those thoughts in my head, and I have had to reach out and say, this is what I want to do, and then, de-escalate and debrief that situation,
Right. Yeah.
I think a good thing is that I think a thing that keeps me safe from suicide now is I don't want anyone to clean up the mess.
Yeah.
I don't want my buddies to have to come and find that. I don't want there to have to be, someone walk in and see me hanging.
Right.
No one. I don't want that at all. And
right.
Maybe because I have compassion now, and if that keeps me safe, it keeps me alive, then so be it.
Right.
I still live with depression. I'm going to live with depression, I think, forever. I don't know if I'll ever get that cured. But at the same time, I'm not going to suffer as much as I used to. Suffering's optional with it for sure.
Right.
I think a lot, like last week, it's our attitude.
Yeah.
It comes with our attitude and society's attitude, where we blame society, but we are society, so we need to fucking do something about it.
Sure.
We can't sit back and say, "Oh, he'll do it," or "He'll do it."
Right.
We need to, as a society, say, "I'll do something about it."
Right.
I can do something about it, even if you're not affected.
Yeah.
Which. I would be hard pressed to see anyone that's not affected by mental illness.
Oh, absolutely.
I think every single person on the planet is affected by it.
I think it's just mental. I mean, we call it mental illness, but people are not mentally ill because illness, it just kind of signifies that you're sick in the head.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's not
correlated to those
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those labels that just need to be broken.
It's such a broad spectrum.
Depression. You get the flu. You get physically sick. You can get a head sickness too. It doesn't mean anything. It's just it could just be a phase.
Shitty wiring or something.
But you brought up a few good points, Paulie, because I wanted to ask you a few things. did you ever attempt suicide sober? Or was it all
yeah, I did.
You did?
I walked home from work when I was in Sarnia, and I was working like midday. It was my second suicide attempt, and I was sober all morning, and I had just gone through I just had gone through having a rifle in my mouth a few weeks before.
Yeah.
No resources. Can't get resources after I got discharged. I got a number for a sexual assault center, which didn't work out very well for me. I was still really ashamed to talk about that stuff. And I was stone sober, and I walked right into my apartment, through my living room, over to my balcony, and walked on the outside of my balcony. And I think I wouldn't have done that if I was. I don't know if I would have done that if I was drunk. No, I didn't drink.
Really?
My girlfriend at the time dragged me back across it, but I didn't say anything to her. I just walked right through my living room and hopped over, one leg over, two legs over. She just grabbed me by the neck.
Yeah, pulled you back
Helped
in.
me back over, and we went to sit in the hospital. And I told them that I just had a bad day.
Right.
They didn't admit me at all, and because in my head I thought they don't serve liquor here.
Right.
And I need to drink.
Right.
I can't be doing this sober.
So in a sense, alcohol was like your safe place.
Yeah. For that
time.
For that
safe escape.
Yeah, because it makes you
Stop
numb,
drinking,
right?
yeah.
And that's exactly it. But when we can't, even drinking alcohol, you can't drink all the time. You can't drink 24 hours a day.
Right.
It's impossible to drink liquor 24 hours a day. So at some point you're gonna have to deal with that stuff, and that's all I was trying to numb that out. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
You sober up a bit, and those thoughts creep in a little bit. And you're like, oh, I gotta do something. And that's the chaos, I think, is I just was too fearful of dealing with my own shit. Right. I was too fearful of telling, hanging out with the boys and saying, hey guys, I struggle with depression.
Right.
I thought about killing myself. That's not something I would ever talk with my boys about back then, and I think if I would have, maybe we could have found a different way or an easier way to get through it, or maybe even sooner.
Yeah.
We are in an epidemic right now. There's no two ways about it. In Canada, we're in epidemic numbers where there's more people with mental illness or struggling with mental illness than diabetes.
Yeah.
How much money goes to diabetes? How much money goes to cancer?
Yeah, the youth. That's what breaks my heart is reading that she was 20 years old. I thought,
whole life ahead of her.
You're not even old enough to try to really get better, right? When you're 20 years old, I don't.
First time in your life.
Well,
beautiful too.
Yeah, but even when I was in my 20s, I struggled